back to Pretty Rich Podcast. We had such an exciting topic last time with so much to say, we had to make a part 2. But hey, if you missed part 1, you can always click the link in the description box and watch that first. Now, let's continue the discussion with part 2. Hey there, beautiful people. I'm Sheila Bella.
And I'm Will Roosh.
Welcome to our podcast, Date Night.
Will, are you annoyed that Sheila needs the superficial in her life?
I have some comments on that question.
Less now. Yeah, it was. Because again,
help me understand it. What does that mean? What does that even mean?
The reason why we were late for your birthday present, the play that we went, the musical, that we went to, was because you had to make sure your lashes were perfect and you had to make sure your hair was done. Like you care about that stuff, the superficial, the image. You want these things, and we will be late. And which I see as like rude to the people that we're meeting for whatever, so that you can look a certain way. And it's not even look a certain way for Instagram. It's like look a certain way just out in the world. I am less annoyed by it now than I used to be. And the reason I used to be more annoyed by it was I was kind of raised in an environment that people who are focused on the superficial and the way things look are like, like that's an immoral thing, like vanity as like a sin. I am more nuanced in that now. Yeah, I mean, I think I still think that it's lower on the hierarchy for me as far as my values is like how I look. Like it's very, like I don't look in the mirror a lot of times. Or just like the way I look to other people, the way I come off to other people, I think that's higher for you. So I think just in our nature, the way that I was brought up, you were brought up in a way that the superficial was of the utmost importance. The way you presented to others was pushed on you from an early age by your parents and your community of like,
mom,
that really matters. The way you look.
And my community.
Yeah. And your mom is someone who I love. She's my mom. And she is very concerned about the way things look.
She's an Enneagram type 1 too. She is concerned with the way things look.
So you said you have thoughts on this?
I just didn't know what the superficial meant. And like, what is superficial about seems like a dumb question, but like, yeah, what is superficial about looking presentable? And like, full transparency, like I tan my body, but I don't tan my face. At the very least, I want my face to be the same color as my body. And I think it's quite jarring when you see somebody's neck darker than the rest of their face. And at the very least, I just wanted that and like, okay, so but like, let's go back. So why do I even need to tan myself? Like, yeah, I don't need to, but like I had a photo shoot 2 days before. And so that was what I, a few days before. So I had to do that. But like, would I care to go and see like, my best friends and everything at a play? Not really. It's just, it's like, I also want to be comfortable. I want to be comfortable. And it's,
you aren't comfortable if you don't feel beautiful in the public situations. At home, it's fine. But like when you're out, and I think that's,
okay.
You've also
depends who. Yeah. In some situations, depends what the situation is. Yeah. But yes, I would say like 75% of situations, I need to look.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to the sky zone with the kids, then no. I mean, for the most part, but like you still do though. But I think that part of that is also what's interesting is you've also made a career out of it. So it's almost like someone who's, and we talked about this before, but like someone who's like an alcoholic and then they get a job as like a party promoter. Or like Bert Kreischer, who's like the stand-up comedian, as like the party guy.
Because this is my addiction.
Well, part of your addiction is
beauty,
clothes, makeup, and you need that now to keep the business going because you have all these people that depend on you, and it's a big corporation now.
Can I be clear though that I think I could still make a lot of money through my looks without a lot of makeup on?
Yes, I think you could too, but you choose to have a lot of makeup on.
I still feel beautiful without makeup on. I just need to like
as you should
actually clean.
I understand, but
not like dirty and then clean. You know what I mean?
Then just why do you? I mean, clearly you think that there's more value when you have a lot of makeup on because you do wear a lot of makeup often.
Good question. It is an artistic expression. It's the best way I can. I've accepted that about myself, and I also really, really like and enjoy me without makeup on. I'm really proud
You like
of my
playing
skin.
with the shell. I get it.
I'm really proud of my skin. I don't know how long that's going to last. I'm proud of my bare skin. I am. For as long as I can be proud of it. So
I think, yes.
it's a good texture.
I'm sure. And you also believe that you will do better business and be able to provide for your team better if you have a more polished look with makeup and things.
I suppose I see it as a little bit of a shortcut. It gives me a little bit more of an edge. Yeah. Do I think I would make more money without it? If I would have to put in a different type of effort.
You'll make more money when you're more dolled up.
Easier. I would make more money easier if I was more dolled up. Let's say I'm not.
Well, you have to change your brand. You have a glamour brand in the beauty industry,
and
babe.
It's the beauty industry. They would probably be like, "Why do you not ever wear makeup?"
Yeah.
Well, and it's also fun, and that's something that, like, you know, one of my favorite shows is Flower Drum Song, and that song, "I Enjoy Being a Girl," has always resonated with me, and it's just fun. It's fun. Like, how do you find a decent counselor when one is needed? So you two and I have talked about this. Us two have talked about this. You and your testicles and I have talked about this. You two and I have talked about it. Okay, so we've talked about this. Not all therapists are creatively equal. It's really hard. It is really hard. How do you find a decent counselor? I think you gotta pray because I don't know how we found ours. Except through
ours is an atheist.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to shop around a little bit. So
definitely,
you went to our therapist solo.
True.
For about a year or so, and then the first year of marriage. First year is for us. It was first year was really hard. Seventh year
was really
hard. So
hard.
it was 1 and 7. Were
1
the
and
hard
7,
ones for
and
us.
this is year 11.
Yeah.
10. We're near 10.
We're halfway through year 10.
Okay.
But we've been together for 12.
12.
We got lucky. So I think that it has to be someone where there's like a balance. So we have a male therapist who has a background similar to mine.
Yes. You guys are like so similar.
And he's also like a lot more sensitive and kind of like soft than I am in a lot of ways.
Yes.
And I think that he's very objective. I've talked to people that say they go and like, oh, well, it's always like teamed up. I don't think that we get teamed up on. I mean, sometimes it's that way. Like he'll try to express something. If anything, it'd probably be he and I teaming up against you to some degree. But I think it's always very fair. You just have to really believe that this person is, the way I see it with our therapist is it's like an objective view, because we're so emotionally involved that you get like almost like a robot, as much as he's not built like a robot to see it from an objective standpoint, because he equally cares about you and I. He cares about us together.
You need to feel that. You need to feel like he equally cares about the two of you.
Yeah,
for sure.
And understand. So he, even though he's more from my background, he put forth a lot of effort to understand you. It was hard for him.
Yeah, it was hard for him.
But he understands you a lot better now. And I think having that objective person, because when you're emotional, whether you're angry or you're sad or you're in love or you hate the person, you're clouded. Emotions cloud your view. And I think that he is someone who sees it clearly. So we still go once or twice a month just for like check-ins.
Sometimes he doesn't.
Sometimes he doesn't what?
See it clearly. Sometimes. Rarely, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes he doesn't. And I think you too have to... First of all, like, your relationship with your therapist cannot be stronger than your relationship with your partner. And I think that's a big part of it. Like, you know, it's a big part of it. A lot of people like rely on like being able to say something to their partner as soon as their therapist is there, right?
Yeah, that's a problem. Because the idea of like, oh, you have someone here to witness it or back it up or something like that. You know, I'm all for counseling and marriage therapy and stuff like that. I think it's great. It makes it harder to some degree because it's harder to brush things under the rug. But it does also, I think, fast forward you through processes. Like we've been in fights and go to see him. And then like, I think we resolve it faster. Mm-hmm. There's some level of accountability there.
For sure.
Like, all right, well, you know, if I'm really acting like an a-hole, then like I got to kind of explain that to someone who's watched us through the ups and downs.
He really knows us by now.
Mm-hmm. Well, so we started going our first year of marriage. So it's been 10 years.
9 years. Yeah. I would say our therapist has seen us clearer, has been the witness to our marriage more than any human being living on this planet. Yeah. And I'm really grateful for that.
And sometimes we go and things are good. And it's almost like you're just like, are we just going to turn over rocks and try and find like stuff that's wrong that we don't?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Like there's been times we go and like we're doing better going in than we do coming out because you like kind of rustle something up. That's not very often, but that happens.
Not very often, but it does happen. It's like, well.
But you and I are both just like, we're in this to try and make it work. So as uncomfortable as it is sometimes to face your own stuff or to go, and the cost is very significant too. Like therapy is expensive.
But isn't that why you work hard? I think it's a priority for us. We still go, we try to go twice a month. We try. It's just a time, like, I don't even need to see, I don't see it anymore for several years. I don't see it anymore as like working, like fighting, actively fighting. I think it's just like checking in. How's our relationship doing? It's kind of like going to the doctor, but he's not really there to like fix anything. It's just a checkup.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't because they don't want to overturn the rocks. I know a lot of people who don't want to go to therapy because it's like there are so many kind of issues that I'm just trying to just like
not pay attention to.
Not pay attention. Let's just put on the blinders, which is fine. If that works for you, fine. But you and I are just not those types of people. Like you and I are just the type of people to just go like,
proactive.
All right, yeah, let's just look around.
We're proactive about everything.
We'll fight about it and then we'll figure it out.
Because I want to actually take a breath. I think that when things aren't actually good, I feel like I can't take 100% of oxygen. It always feels like 80. And it's like, I need things to actually be good. I don't feel comfortable without things actually being good. And that's a lot of it that's my upbringing. I grew up around a lot of lying and, that felt very suffocating. And then the older I got, the more I realized that there's really no need to lie about literally anything unless you're like hiding Jews in your basement and it's like the time of like Adolf Hitler or something like that. Like there's really no need to lie about like most things. You really don't need to. You don't need to. So, and I think lying is born from shame. And if I'm going to go out there and say like, hey, especially what I do for a living, I need it to be in integrity. And I want to make sure that I also lead in integrity. And I was just talking to some my team members this morning. I really think that's what makes me a good leader is because I think that's transparent. I don't think you can cover that up. You can't cover it up. If something in your life isn't in integrity, if something in your life isn't aligned, it is more transparent than you think. I don't care if you're leading a 7-figure team or, a small nonprofit or, you know what I mean, with like volunteers. It is so transparent. It's literally on your skin. If something in your life isn't aligned, we can all see it. We can all tell.
Literally?
Go fix it.
On your skin?
Go fix it. Especially for the Enneagram 8s in this world. You like Dave Matthews Band. I like the Pussycat Dolls.
All right, well, you should ask that question. So,
what are some of our favorite bands and musicians?
What are the musicians or music that you and I equally like? Because don't pick some musical theater nonsense, and I'm not going to pick,
Annie,
DMX.
get your gun.
Yeah, no.
I like DMX. What are you talking about?
Yeah. What's your favorite album?
I don't know the album, but I know the song.
Okay, so what's the music that you and I both like kind of equally enjoy?
We like Dave Matthews Band.
Yeah, I think we like Dave Matthews Band, especially older Dave Matthews Band.
Older Dave Matthews Band. We like Dave Matthews Band.
Once it gets to like year 2000, it's not.
It's still good. You'll still listen to it.
What else do you and I like together?
We like Hamilton.
Yeah, Kid Cudi.
Yeah, a little less so. We like Hamilton. We like Beyonce's Lemonade.
I love the visual album of Lemonade. I do. I'm not a huge Beyonce fan, but I love Lemonade. What else? Yeah. I like a lot of jam bands you don't like. I like 70s rock and roll you don't like.
It's too much.
You like Biggie? A little bit.
What do you mean?
You like some.
I love Biggie. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I
like Eminem.
I love Eminem.
You probably like Eminem more than I do.
I do.
You're not a big classic rock person.
No, I'm not. All the hip hop things you like. Biggest relationship tips. Don't be afraid to fight. Fighting means you care. The minute you stop fighting, that means passion is gone. Like the opposite of love is indifference. It's not hate. Like if you stop fighting, like you've stopped respecting that person. Like, come on. Like, the people I've stopped fighting with, there's just no point.
So maybe there's a larger umbrella of communication. So you have to communicate what you're feeling, what you're going through. And so to do that, pull it back even a little bit more, you have to be as articulate as possible.
Absolutely.
Jordan Peterson would say,
You
precise
can't
in your
tire-
speech.
And you
It's
can't
important.
tire of it.
Yeah.
You cannot. If you want to fight for the life you want, I believe that every man and woman has 40% more left in the tank. Cue David Goggins right now.
Goggins.
I also think it doesn't just come with about physicality. I do believe that it comes like mentally and emotionally. You have 40% more. Oh, he's tapped out. He's tapped out. You got 40% more. Let's go. And I really believe that at the end of that is a life where you can truly be proud of. And I mean, also, I really like the advice that I give to people is when they're dealing with relationship stuff, the advice that no one takes ever is, what would you want your son to do? What would you want your daughter to do if they were in your situation? And they never take it. Like, hardly. If your child was in your situation now, what would you want them to do? No one takes that advice. It's crazy. Like, okay, what? Cool.
I think grace. I like grace. It's hard sometimes, but just like you're in this with this is if this is your partner, if this is like someone, let's just say that this is someone that you want to build a life with. This is your life witness. This is your partner. You got to extend a lot of grace because they're gonna screw up and you're gonna screw up. So you love them and you say, all right, you get a little get out of jail free card on this one. Like, and it's something that I think we both probably need to work on. Extending grace. I said, tell you, I'm like, babe, I need some grace. You're like, I'm giving you grace.
I'm giving you grace.
Yeah, well, it's kind of up to the person who doesn't feel like they're getting it sometimes. I think that's a big one is like looking at the big picture, is this fight going to matter in, the next 5 years? Like I didn't take out the garbage or whatever it might be, something along those lines. So extending a lot of grace, I think is a really
Is this fight going to matter in the next 5 years? You know what I mean? It could go both ways. Is this fight going to matter in the next 5 years? Or is this fight going to matter in the next 5
Generally,
years? No. Generally, no. But there's a lot of big things, especially for like my girls and stuff like that. I have a lot of like friends that are just like, so like big hearted. And I don't know, if I could take like a survey of all my friends, most of my friends, not Elisa, you need to calm down. Eric is right. So a lot of my friends, it's like they're just like looking on the bright side. Even my team members and even like my students and things like that. And it's just like this beautiful thing that I aspire to be that. I know you would love that sometimes. Also, what ends up happening is they blow up.
It just builds up.
Eventually, it builds up. And then all of a sudden, it's a decision. And it's like, whoa. Turbo, slow down, turbo. What's going on? It's like before it gets bigger, like the dragon book.
Yeah.
One of our favorite children's books.
No such thing as a dragon.
No such thing as a dragon, where this little kid is like, Mommy, there's a dragon. And the mom's like, no, there isn't.
There's no such thing as a dragon. Then it gets
There's
bigger
no such
and bigger.
thing. And then it's like, Mom, there's like a dragon. It's taking up this whole room. It gets bigger and bigger. Mom, this dragon is taking up the whole house. And the mom just keeps saying like, there's no such thing as dragons. There's no such thing as dragons. Until it picks up the house, changes locations. And then the mom is like, all right, fine. There is a dragon. It means it's denial. And the minute the mom acknowledged the dragon, oh yeah, the dragon's real. The dragon shrinks. And it's actually not as big as you made it out to be in your head. Once you've actually just acknowledged that, oh, this is here. The minute you acknowledge it, it's so not as big as you think. It's like the best advice I can give is just acknowledge that it's there. If you can't even acknowledge it's there, like, are you even in a real like soulmate type of relationship? Just I'm not even saying fix it. I'm just saying like just acknowledge it, like it's there.
I'm thinking about it. I think that my biggest piece of advice would be find someone who is on your level when it comes to personal growth
and solving problems.
Yeah, I mean that's what like when someone says like soulmate or how do you know? It's like someone that you enjoy. I think we came up with this one night. It was like find someone who you enjoy solving hard problems with. Mm-hmm. Because life is hard.
Exactly.
You got to work together. So I think that's a good one. Find someone you love.
That's aligned with what I said too. But it's like, yeah.
But what I'm saying about growth is some people want to really grow. Like you are like shooting for the moon. You're like, all right, let's grow this business. Let's make some more money.
Let's grow our muscles. Let's grow our bank account. Let's go.
Yeah, now you're into muscles and stuff. But like, yeah, you're like a grow person. I think my nature to some degree is like contentment. Like being content with where you are. And that's not going to work. The couples that we know that break up tend to be one person is very interested in some sort of self-improvement or growth or getting better. And the other person isn't.
Not.
And that doesn't work. But if you're both like cool with just like, you know what, let's just chill.
Stay together.
Then it works. Well, no. I know a lot of
Stay
happy
together.
couples that are fine with like
Absolutely.
the chill life. Like they're not. But if one of them is a go-getter, one of them is trying to get bigger, stronger, faster,
Yes.
richer, whatever it is, and the other one's not, that gets really hard.
Or just even deeper.
Whatever it is. So you need to be on the same
Plane.
level of self-improvement, whether that's like no self-improvement,
Yes.
self-devolvement, like let's just get fat together.
Let's just get
Let's
fat.
just get
Let's
crazy,
just hang out.
lazy.
Let's just watch
and I don't
reality
mean
shows.
fat like in body, even just
Right,
like just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like in general. Let's just get lazy and just ride this thing
Amazing.
right into a giant casket lifted by a crane.
Jealous.
Yeah, like well that it works out then.
For sure.
Yeah, like I mean, and it has nothing to do with like food or
Right.
gaining weight. It's
Or
the metaphor
money.
of it.
It is the metaphor of it. Yeah.
It's like we're cool with just getting like this kind of lifestyle. We're cool, whatever it is, living in an apartment.
Whatever.
Great. We're cool having the 1986
I really
Honda
don't want
Civic.
to argue about this anymore. Yeah, like type
And it's
thing.
great.
Yeah.
Because like me too.
If
High
it's
five.
real.
It could work out
For
really
sure.
well. Yeah.
Right. Let's just like
But if you're a
fuck into
go-getter
oblivion.
with someone like that, it's not gonna work.
about anything, about depth, about money,
Yeah.
about fitness, about faith, about just literally
One person's
anything.
like, let's overturn all these rocks and see if we have problems. And then the other person's like, let's not look at under these rocks. It's not going to work. So you have to be on the same level when it comes to your general approach to life. Even if you're very different, you and I are very different. We're operating in different spheres.
Yeah.
But I think you and I are both in some way like go-getters.
And we're into overturning the rocks.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's literally what makes you weigh so much.
Yeah. So even as different as you and I are, I think in that we're similar. And I think that's something that's helped us to get this far.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Guys, we hope you enjoyed this episode of
Date night.
Guys, if you guys liked this episode, please, if you're watching on YouTube, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and also don't forget to review this on iTunes. And we are available on Instagram. I'm at Real Sheila Bella.
I'm at Will Roosh, Reusch, which is her real last name.
It rhymes with douche.
Which you still do, and I think doctors don't recommend it.